Hey everyone, welcome back to the Simple English Podcast. I'm Lisa, your host, and today we're talking about something we all struggle with at some point: procrastination. Have you ever put off doing something until the last minute? Or maybe you've found yourself endlessly scrolling through social media, telling yourself, I'll work in 5 minutes, but then suddenly it's 3 a.m. and you've done absolutely nothing? Yeah, we've all been there. So, how do we stop procrastinating and finally get things done? Today, I'm excited to have Adam, a productivity expert, to share some practical tips on how to overcome procrastination. As always, don't forget to check out the free PDF file in the comment section below to get the full transcript and vocabulary for this episode. Welcome, Adam.
Thanks, Lisa. It's great to be here, and I'm super excited to talk about this topic. Procrastination is such a big issue for so many people, including myself. I mean, who hasn't been guilty of putting things off until the last minute, right?
Exactly. I think procrastination is something that really affects everyone at some point in their life, whether it's at school, at work, or even at home when you're trying to do chores. So let's get into it. Adam, what would you say is the biggest reason people procrastinate?
Good question, Lisa. I think one of the main reasons is fear. Fear of failure, fear of not doing something perfectly, or even fear of the task being too overwhelming. When a task seems big and complicated, it's easy to avoid it, even if we know it's something we have to do.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like if something feels too big, it's hard to even get started. So what can we do about it?
Well, the first thing I would say is to break the task down into smaller, more manageable steps. Instead of thinking, I need to write a 10-page report, think, I'll just write the introduction today, or I'll write 2 paragraphs in the next 30 minutes. When you break the task down, it feels less scary and more doable.
I love that idea. It's like taking a giant mountain and turning it into little hills. But what about when you're just feeling unmotivated, or you don't know where to start?
That's a big one. Sometimes we're not motivated because we don't really understand why we're doing something. So, one thing I recommend is to ask yourself, what's the purpose of this task? For example, if you're avoiding studying for a test, remind yourself that it's not just about passing the test, but it's about learning something that could help you in the future, like getting a job or achieving your career goals.
I think that's powerful. It's about connecting the task to a bigger purpose, right?
Exactly. And another key strategy is setting a deadline, even if it's self-imposed. Sometimes we avoid tasks because they don't have an external deadline, so we keep pushing them off. But if we set a deadline for ourselves, it creates a sense of urgency. And when you commit to that deadline, you're more likely to stay focused and get things done.
Deadlines are so important. I know for me, when I don't have a deadline, I tend to put things off endlessly. But once I say, okay, I'm going to finish this by 5 p.m. today, it's like I can focus so much better.
Right? And it's not just about deadlines, but also creating a good environment. If you're trying to work in a messy or distracting place, it's easy to fall into procrastination. Try to work in a clean and quiet space where you feel comfortable. And if that's hard, use noise-canceling headphones or play some relaxing music to help you concentrate.
Totally. I can't work when there's too much noise or clutter around me. And what about those moments when you're just not feeling it? When you're too tired or you feel like you need a break?
Yes, the I need a break excuse. It's actually really important to listen to your body. If you're tired, it's okay to take a short break. But the trick is to make sure you don't turn that short break into an all-day thing. Set a timer for your break so you know when it's time to get back to work. And if you're still struggling to get started, try the 5-minute rule. Just commit to working for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, you can stop if you want, but you'll probably find that once you start, you can keep going.
I've used the 5-minute rule before and it works wonders. Sometimes just starting is the hardest part, but once you get into the flow, it's so much easier to keep going.
Exactly. It's all about building momentum. And speaking of momentum, another great tip is to celebrate small wins. Every time you complete a little task, take a moment to acknowledge it. Celebrate that progress, no matter how small, because it helps build positive reinforcement and keeps you motivated.
I think we can all use a little more celebration in our lives. So let's summarize some of the strategies we've talked about today. Break tasks down into smaller steps, connect tasks to a bigger purpose, set deadlines, create a good work environment, and celebrate small wins. I think that's a solid game plan to overcome procrastination. Before we wrap up, Adam, do you have any fun facts or interesting research about procrastination that could help our listeners?
Actually, yes. Did you know that procrastination is linked to perfectionism? A lot of times people procrastinate because they're afraid their work won't be perfect, so they avoid it altogether. The ironic thing is that perfectionism often leads to lower quality work because you spend too much time stressing over small details instead of just getting things done. So, one way to beat procrastination is to embrace imperfection.
Wow, that's so true. It's like sometimes we can get so caught up in making everything perfect that we don't even start. That's definitely something to keep in mind.
Exactly. And remember, progress is better than perfection. As long as you're moving forward, that's what matters most.
Adam, thank you so much for sharing these amazing tips with us today. I think we've got a much better understanding of how to beat procrastination and start getting things done.
Thank you, Lisa. It was a pleasure to be here, and I hope everyone listening feels a little more motivated to take action.
And for all of you listening, remember that overcoming procrastination isn't about being perfect. It's about making progress and staying focused. Try out some of these strategies and see what works best for you. If you liked today's episode, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the Simple English podcast, and share this episode with a friend who might need a little motivation to get started. We'll see you next time with more tips on living your best life. Until then, stay focused and keep moving forward. Bye, everyone. Now it's time to learn some important vocabulary related to the topic. The first word of today is procrastination. It means the action of delaying or postponing something, often tasks or responsibilities. Example: procrastination can lead to unnecessary stress when deadlines are near. Next word is motivation. It means the reason or desire to do something, or the drive to accomplish a task or goal. Example: a clear goal can help increase your motivation to get started. Next word is deadline. It means a specific time or date by which a task must be completed. Example: setting a deadline for yourself can help prevent procrastination. Next word is momentum. It means the strength or speed of movement, often referring to the progress or energy built up when working on something. Example: once you start working, building momentum can make the rest of the task easier. Next word is perfectionism. It means the belief or practice of striving for flawlessness and setting high standards, often leading to delays or stress. Example: her perfectionism made her procrastinate, fearing her work wouldn't meet her high standards. The last word is distraction. It means something that diverts attention away from the main task. Example: turning off notifications can reduce distractions and help you stay focused. Thank you for listening to our episode of the Simple English podcast. I hope you learned something new and helpful today. Please give us a like and subscribe for video like this. Share it with your friends, and let us know what you think in the comments section below. We'll be back with more interesting discussions soon.